Hey, it's mskelliemichele. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about market saturation. Yes. How do you look at a market and determine whether or not it is already saturated with midterm rentals? So we are going to take a look at an example, and I am going to give you some tips on what you can do if you're already in a saturated market, or if you're looking in a market and you see it's a new market and you want to get into it and it's already saturated, what you can do to look for a different market. All right, let's get into it. Okay, you guys. So what I've done is I pulled up my market, St. Louis, here on Furnish Finders, just to give you an idea of what this looks like. So I'm looking at the map view, and you can see all of these properties in green. These are all private unit midterm rentals that are in a particular area here in St. Louis. So this is actually St. Louis City. And you can see there are a ton of midterm rentals in this market. Because I have been doing some research and I have been experiencing some new things that I'll tell you guys about, I decided to take a look and see what has changed in the market between July and now. But as you can see, we're looking at downtown here. This is the Central West End in this area, and then this is part of what we call South City. This particular area of St. Louis City is very popular just because most of our major hospitals are in these areas. So that is why you see so many properties in this part of St. Louis City. Okay, so why am I bringing this up and why is this relevant? Okay, well, I have been experiencing some new things and that are happening with potential guests that want to try to book my property that I have never experienced before, which has caused me to go out there and do a little bit of research in my market once again, because it's important to always do market research throughout the year just to see what changes have happened. And when I did some more market research, I realized that there are way more properties, midterm rental properties in this particular area of St. Louis City than there were in July. Now, I say that because in July, you guys remember I got that 4 unit building, right? And I actually got it filled before it was even finished. So that's how much of a demand there was for midterm rentals. I was having people calling me back to back to see if they can get my property. Now, fast forward to September, I have some vacancies, and people are now basically price shopping. This has never been done before, right? So, what I am experiencing is that people are saying they're interested in my property. So, they're actually sending me requests saying they are interested in booking my property. They're actually going through with the background checks and credit checks. And then when I say you're approved and get ready and do the lease or either send them the lease, they back out or they ghost. Now, some of them have told me why, some of them haven't, but I've had this happen at least 4 times, right, in the last 2 weeks, which again, this is very new to me because this was not happening at all. But someone told me that basically she found another property that was cheaper than mine and it was closer to her hospital, which is fine. But I'm making the assumption that this same thing is happening with the other people that I did not hear from. They basically found something else that was cheaper, right? Well, my properties aren't expensive. So let's start there. They're not like crazy or ridiculously priced. They are priced according to the market, but they were priced according to the market when there was a shortage of midterm rentals. So now what am I doing? What am I going to have to do to compete with all of these people who have now come into the market and flooded it with midterm rentals? And we don't have I should say, there isn't enough nurses coming through for all of the properties that we have on the market now. So this has totally flipped my market. Too much is going on. And now there are midterm rentals sitting out there available vacant because there isn't enough demand for them. Okay? So what I'm having to do is basically, especially for the winter, is lower my prices. I have no other choice because I am now having to compete with all of these other people that are coming into the market. So I had to lower my prices. I'm still making profit, but I have had to lower my prices. Now, I am thinking of some other things that I can do to get more people in my properties again. traveling nurses aren't the only people, and I want to reiterate this. These are not the only people who stay in midterm rentals. So I am appealing to other groups that want to stay in midterm rentals to fill my properties. Now, I've always done this, but majority of my people were traveling medical professionals. But I am also, and I've told you guys in previous videos that I've, also reached out to insurance companies, and also I'm thinking about students, but not quite yet. I'm not ready to make that decision quite yet. And of course, I'm always open to working with businesses that are bringing people into the area. So those are routes that I am going. But I just want to let you guys know that yes, there's more than traveling medical professionals that stay in midterm rentals. Don't rely on traveling medical professionals. They are not going to fill your property, especially when it's oversaturated. There's not enough that will be able to fill all of these midterm rentals in a saturated market. Okay, so you need to start thinking of other options and other alternatives. So I just showed you what that looks like whenever a market is saturated. So you have an idea when you're doing your market research. If you see something like that, yes, it's definitely oversaturated. Now you have some options to look in another area, maybe a suburb, maybe a different city, something like that. So you still have options in order to get into this midterm rental game, but just make sure you are aware that if it's oversaturated, you're going to have more vacancies, which means you're going to have to cover more cost out of your pocket. So you do not want that. Now, like I said, I am lowering prices. I am changing my listings up a little bit. I'm also turning on Instabook on Airbnb for some of my properties if I know it's a week out and I still don't have anybody who's going to fill that property. I am turning on Instabook, but they are still listed as 30-day or longer midterm rentals. So I have not dropped down to the short-term rental strategy because I just don't want to do short-term rentals. But that is something you could do. You could just go ahead and stick some people in there who want to short-term rent it for a couple days or a week or something like that. That's just not what I'm interested in doing at this time. So I am going to wait it out. At this moment, I have one property that's about to be vacant as of tomorrow, and I don't have anybody to fill it as of yet. But I am confident that someone will fill it. But right now, I'm going to have to cover the rent and expenses on it until that next person comes. Again, this normally does not happen, has not been happening in the past. Maybe I contributed to it with these YouTube videos because people are in my market watching my videos and, getting into it, which is fine. Or people from out of town are coming into my market as well. And I'll talk about that in another video. So those things, are all contributing, which is fine. Again, midterm rentals are great, but I just want to make sure I reiterate and that you have to appeal to more than traveling nurses. Okay. All right. Or traveling medical professionals. Now, I hope those tips helped you. Okay, so that when you're looking at your market or doing your market research, you know what you should go into or what market you should go into and what market you should not go into, just because of what's happening in that particular market. So I hope this gave you great value. Now, if you want to learn more about midterm rentals and get into this business, I do have my self-study course. So you can check out the link for that below. I often post other things below, some good links to help you in your short-term rental business. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, that link is below as well. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I will come back to you next week with another video. Talk to you later. Bye.